Hi, I'm Beth. I'm going to teach you how to make a web page today. So a web page, for the most part, is just a special file that a web browser knows how to display. I'm going to go through how we tell the web browser what kind of file it is, and how we can tell the web browser what to display in the top bar, what we can display in the web page. So I'm starting off here with a text editor open. I'm in Linux, so I'm using gedit. But if you're in Windows, you could use Notepad, and I'm sure there's something similar on a Mac as well. And I'm just going to be saving my web page onto my local computer and then looking at it in my browser, which is something that's completely possible and very easy to do. Later on, in a few videos' time, I think I'll get to telling you where you can host websites so that they can appear on the internet. But for now, we're just going to look at them in the browser. So I'm going to tell you how to set up this text file. So the first thing that we need to do is to tell the web browser what kind of file it's going to be opening. So there are various different ways of doing this. The way that, and we're going to do basically all of them at once, just to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Every browser that you come across will know what's going on, which is always good. So the first thing I'm going to do is save the file as a .html file, so I'm going to call it index.html. I'm putting it in my home directory, in my documents, so it's index.html, and you might have to change the file type you're saving it as if you're saving it in Notepad. So now if I go to my web browser, and there's an easy way to browse all of the files on your your home computer using a web browser, and that's just to type in the word file followed by a colon followed by 3 forward slashes up in this top bar here, and then as you can see your whole file system. So navigate to where you saved it. So mine's in home Beth web. And as you can see, index.html is right there, so I click on that, and it's displaying a blank web page because that's all we've saved. We've only saved an empty file. So if we go back to the empty text file that we've got, the first thing, in order to tell the computer what language it's expecting, you include a tag that's called a doc type. So you type open triangle brackets. The triangle brackets will come up a lot in HTML. So get used to them now. They're above the comma and full stop keys on your keyboard, and something that's enclosed in 2 triangle brackets is called the tag. So the first tag that we use here is a doc type tag, and that tells the browser that it's expecting an HTML page, and not just any HTML page. It's expecting the most recent version of HTML, HTML5. So previously doc types had some more information in, but now they don't need it, which is great. So now it's still a blank web page, obviously, but it knows that it's an HTML document. So the third way that we tell the browser that this is an HTML document is just with a tag that says HTML. So that comes after the doc type declaration and is enclosed in triangle brackets. And then at the end of everything that we're writing here, at the end of the whole web page, so I'm going to enter down a bit so there's some space in between, and we want to close the HTML tag. So when you close a tag, you put in another tag that says / followed by the name of the tag. So we've got a tag at the bottom there that says /HTML. So you open up the HTML tag at the start of the page, and then you close it at the end of the page, and that tells the browser that that's all of the HTML that it needs to be looking for. The doc type tag doesn't need to be closed because it's a special type of tag. I'll be talking more about special types of tag. There are quite a few of them. So in general, try and close tags if you open them. If you don't need to close them, you'll notice. So we've opened and closed the HTML tags so that the computer knows that there's an HTML document here. Now we want to put some text on the middle of the web page, or just on the web page as you would expect. So in order to tell the browser that what you want is text then you need to open up and also close a tag called body. So this tells the browser that anything that goes in between the open body tag and the closed body tag should be displayed in the middle of the web page. So I'm going to write hello world exclamation mark. And then if we go back to our browser over here with the index page displayed, we press F5, which refreshes the page. It should say hello world. So anything that you put between the two body tags is going to turn up in the middle of the page. So that's your very first web page. I hope you're proud. It's not much, but it's a web page. It's a proper web page. So another piece of information another place that you might want to display information in a browser is at the top of the screen, on the name of the web page. So there's another two tags that we need to learn to stick things in the top of the page. There's head, and then there's title. So in between the two head tags, which go above the body tag on the page, as they do in a human being, as I'm sure you're aware. So inside the head tags, we put these two title tags. And the title tags tell the browser that any text you put between those two tags you want to appear up in the top. So I'm going to write the word apples. I like fruit. So I'll go back to this web page, refresh it again, and as you can see it says apples in the top corner, which is very nice. So what if you want to add more paragraphs of text? Well, what I've done here is I've typed another sentence. So let's see what happens, how this displays if I refresh the page. As you can see, even though I've put enters in between the two sentences, it's not displayed them on the page at all, which is quite handy, really, because if you're trying to write lots and lots of big things and include pictures in line with the text and things, then it's nice to be able to space things out on lots of lines without actually having all of the enters turn up on the page when you finally see it. So, it helps keep your ideas organized, which is always a good thing, but of course you do occasionally want to have a new line on a page, and that's what the break tag is called. Now this is a special tag that doesn't need a closing tag, so you just have one break tag that creates a new line, and if I refresh now, it should show that it's now on a new line. If you want to add more new lines, you can just add more and more BR tags, still not having to close them, and as you can see it just goes down and down the page. So as an exercise, I would like you to try to recreate this website here, this web page that I've created here. So as you can see, the title at the top of the page is The Ballad of Reading Gaol, which is a lovely poem by Oscar Wilde that I imagine you're already familiar with. And in the body of the page, there's the first two verses from The Ballad of Reading Gaol by Oscar Wilde. So as you can see, each line is on its own line, and there's a space of 2 lines in the middle. Try and create a web page that looks like this and has all of the closing and opening tags working properly. And I will be back in my next video to talk about making text bold, underlined, italic, or interestingly coloured.